site, and they're not linking to other people. Google follows links. The thing is links can also make you some really powerful friends if you link to the right people. And so it also builds your authority. So yes, you have all your content, but if you're linking to other people, now you don't sound crazy. So make sure your site is mobile responsive. I'm sure you heard mobile get and everything. And there is a tool, and you can find it through Google Search Console. And make sure.
Read Forbes, and I saw a note about ACAS. I met the Tubitum CEO on a meeting on an event like this one. I met the TDS CEO for Latin America as well. So the takeaway here is go and meet the people that you want to work with. Go to the event and say, look, I have this. I have 10,000 people, but this is my audience. There are women, they're Latino, they speak Spanish with English with a strong accent, they're like this, and they will love it. Because that's what they're looking for. That's what advertising are looking for. That's what people like kids want to show as a showcase. They don't want to show a site with 5 million people. They want to show a site with people.
The blogs he writes about like newest Google updates, things like that, their team really stays up to date onto any new trends that are happening or anything that Google has changed unexpectedly. So it's
as a tool for social media in terms of getting the word out.
Sorry, say that again?
Are you using it as a tool for the social media outlet?
I do use it as a tool to plug in itself, but there's a lot of great SEO plugins out there. The list that I put here are really, it's educational material. It's not any specific plugin.
Take that script and use it. We believe in giving back to the community. And I think that's really, really important because we could have kept it and we could have been the one who did that. But we didn't want to. We wanted to share it. We wanted to benefit the greater community. Even our competitors, because it benefits the community. To educate.
And colorful titles. For research and everything, I really like the other free tools like Google AdWords Keyword Planner, Yoast Suggest, and Google Trends. That's pretty much aligned with what Yoast actually says on what their tools that they recommend.
To another site and you have to enter the credit card there. If you want a credit card on your own website, a credit card form on your own website, then you need something like this. Yeah? Do we support FoxyCard? I don't know is the best answer. Okay.
Especially the front page. Start with that first. Last slide on basic SEO tips, promise. I'm so sorry, I have a big list today.
Help you connecting with the people.
Gotta go to the next.
I'm ready.
Something going on? Do I need to do anything? No, we're good.
With the regular WordPress.
Make it responsive.
that's going to start looking like the same on all the videos you're doing, and people don't know what you're doing. Start with your action and then cut to that. Then start your intro and go, hey, this is who I am, here's my branding, and tell your story. And don't waste my time, please. I don't want to sit there and watch something for 5 minutes. Set a quick pace, run through it, and keep people focused, keep people there, keep people paying attention to what you're saying and what you're doing. The middle, the body, the story, that's really where video shines. Please have a hero. Please have somebody that the audience can identify with. And that doesn't have to be a person, that can be a product, that can be a service, that can be a guy or a girl. But please have somebody that the audience can identify with or care about and go, oh, that's what I want to learn about. We shot a video a couple years ago about a boat. Well, our hero is the boat. When you're done watching that 6-minute video, you're going to say, I want to buy that boat. And that's what I want to do when I show that video or when I give you that video. Kiss, keep it short. Stupid, excuse me. Please don't. Video is great because you can condense so much information inside. I have clients that come to me and go, oh, we want to do a 15-minute video. Who here is going to spend 15 minutes online and watch a video? You know, unless it's an awesome piece and I really grab your attention and I have an amazing story to tell, stay under 2 minutes, keep it short. And please make it worth watching. Give me some eye candy, give me something that looks amazing, give me something where people are like, oh, that is so cool. And the end of the story, what's your end game? You almost have to start there and say, what do I want to do at the end of the day? What's the video supposed to be able to do? So the perfect video must tell a compelling story engineered to tell or to change your viewer's mind. And that can be, I need to buy that service, I want to use that product, I want to learn about this, I want to something. But there has to be a reason for that. I did a TED Talk 2 years ago called The Art of Changing Minds. We're going to put the slides up online, and the link is there if you want to watch it. It's another 5-minute talk. And then at the end, obviously, know your end game before the beginning. Start there with a good call to action. And video's powerful visually. So your call to actions don't have to be all crazy and huge and stuff. They can be subtle. And people are going to get it. We did a case study. We have a movie we shot in Afghanistan 2 years ago. I showed a rough cut of that at a local university, and they did a pre and a post poll of the students. So this is where the people start when we ask them, what do you think about Afghanistan before they watch the movie? And 15 minutes later, this is where they are. So in 15 minutes, we changed 100 minds, 180 degrees, just by telling a great story, getting a good call to action that surprised people in 15 minutes. So the perfect video is like the perfect blog post. Remember to grab their attention, like a good blog title. Your video, the first couple seconds are crucial to keep your audience. And secondly, the video has to tell a compelling story, like a good blog post. You want to keep your viewer. You don't want to just excite them and then give them something that makes no sense to them. And thirdly, the perfect video has an end game in mind that's specifically designed for a call to action. And if you can think about your video and say, how am I going to change my viewer's mind at the end of the day, you're doing a great video. Here's some of my contact information. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate you being here. We have a little video booth set up downstairs.
I come from Colombia, and I lived a few years in the UK. I didn't catch the accent.
Jolly good show.
You're a tough audience, but I used to be a teacher of teenagers in London, and so those are really tough. So let's start. I'm going to talk about how my blog and my partners in techcetera.com, we started a conversation and we become a community, and we just have a few views on our platform, and then we are gathering more than 500,000 views. It's probably a little, but for us it means a lot, and you are going to see why it means a lot and how we are building that community. So this is the beginning of our story. This is a story that began on a conversation with 3 friends and myself, and these are my friends. One is a runner, another one is a hipster, another one is a banker, and there's me, who wears sandals because I live in Miami. And the 4 of us were writing and blogging. Early in 5 years ago, we were blogging on different platforms, our own platforms on Facebook, dealing a little bit with the digital world from different points of view, from our own professional experience. My particular experience comes from working pre-Web 2.0 on a startup in the early 2000s. The experience of my colleagues come from the geek world, Oracle, IBM, Cisco, startups, etc. And the mission that we realized we wanted to do, and the thing that brought us together was basically that we want people to be able to make the most of their devices. We want people to be able to, as we say in Spanish, sacarle el jugo of their devices. We realize that devices are becoming ubiquitous, and in Latin America, they are becoming not just ubiquitous, but they are becoming the first time that there's a bridge building a massive gap between the have and the no have. We didn't have desktops in Latin America. We jumped from nothing to mobile phones. We jumped from nothing to smartphones. So we have a huge opportunity to build up on those bridges, and that's what we realized. But we want people to be able really to make the most of that investment, because a phone and a mobile device is an expensive investment. And it's not just for entertainment, and it's just not just for selfies and everything in the middle. A phone is to learn, a phone is to be more productive, and a mobile device, including a phone, should be that. We use WordPress for all the good reasons that we have heard in this conference and many more, and particularly because we are bootstrapping. We don't make money with our blog. So WordPress was the perfect platform to start this community. This is our moving forward. So we have a conversation with Spanish speaker and with Spanish speaker audience. We realized that we have 20% of our readership is in the US, 20% of our readership is in Mexico, and the other 20% is in Colombia, where we come from. So without any effort, particularly, we reach 40% of a wide population, the US Hispanics, or the US people that speak Spanish, and the Mexicans, who are kind of a bit ahead of the rest of the Latin America, because they have cheaper internet access in Latin America than the rest of us. We decided on a platform like WordPress because it was responsive, and we realized that most of our traffic is coming from mobile devices, as I said before, and it's a big opportunity. 1,000 followers on Facebook, and I hope all of you will follow us after this. We have a Twitter line that is very interesting because it has news in Spanish, news in English, and so on and so forth. We are online, where we have 72,000 people. We are on YouTube, and we want to grow that. So if you do videos in Spanish about technology, come and see me, because we're looking for people. I'm looking for bloggers. I'm looking for female bloggers, please. We are 12 contributors, and we talk about education. We talk about women. We talk about children. We are about to sign an agreement with Common Sense Media Hispano, and we will be there together with Univision. So signing that deal for us is really, really a good deal. Not just because they have Univision as their other partner in Spanish, but because we all know what Common Sense Media brings. It brings all the credibility that they have as a place where you can trust as a parent and as a teacher. We write about gadgets, we write about productivity. We are 12 people, and we just brought someone to start writing about smart cities. And technology is great to get our cities work, and work for their citizens, and to get the citizens work for the city as well. We have people talking about banking. And that's what we're having. And we have already interviewed interesting people, and these two guys, well, most of you know who they are, Mr. Boss and Kawasaki. And we were the only ones who could interview them face-to-face in Colombia. So we feel very proud that these two gurus that most of us read on a regular basis were there, that Boss was tweeting about us. I mean, that's kind of bad. And I've been in Miami covering the tech scene, speaking with people, being here. I mean, for me, it's amazing to be here. So this is the 3 takeaways of this, how to build a community. Be as independent as you can be. We couldn't be talking about devices and how good or bad or not so the devices are if we sell our souls and our platform to technology companies. We wouldn't be able to have this platform if we weren't writing consistent. We wouldn't be able to reach millennials as well as 40-something like myself, as well as people like my mom, who's on her mid-70s, if we wouldn't experiment. And we experiment all the time, with video, with photos, with covering events. We have 2 bloggers that are children, 13, and they are our gamers. So we are experimenting. And most important, and I think that's one of the key takeaways of this conference, is your creativity. And here is where you're using your name. And this creativity brings you to places like this, where I feel super proud to be, but as well allow you to interview a guy like Kawasaki, or a guy like Boss, or the people that I have interviewed here in Miami. And well, I think that's it for me. And thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah.
Okay, now for those who are new with WordPress, what would you recommend? What would you suggest? What are your takeaways?
I would say definitely some of this lecture that we're looking at here, WordPress, one of the meetups, I found it very, very useful. Starting out the meetups, I made a lot of contacts through the meetups from folks who have been in the business for a long time, knew what they were talking about, and they were able to sort of push me in the right direction. And then I just love to use Google. I use Google a lot. I just Google the information that I need, and a lot of it comes up in YouTube. I like the YouTube versions better than just the written version, because it's much more informative than the written version for me.
And very colorful. Sometimes you're musical.
Yes, I'm more visual than I am in the written.
Do you recommend that people start going off to a lot of different ones, or just concentrate on 1 or 2?
I would concentrate on 1 or 2, unless you're going to go into it as a developer, and I am not a developer. I think you want to sort of focus, get your focus down, because it's such a huge field that you don't really want to start branching off into get the meetups and after a while, even in the meetups, a lot of it is repetitive, so you don't want to be going there all the time. But the contacts is really useful, because if you don't know something, there's always someone within the meetup who knows the answer to this problem.
Wonderful. Any your favorite plugins, maybe?
Well, there are a number of sites that actually recommend like the 10 basic plugins that you should use. There are 20 basic plugins, Akismet and the rest that are pretty standard. I've actually made up a spreadsheet of all of these plugins, and I use them in all my sites. Once I start the site, I put in all those plugins. Obviously, you got to be careful about the plugins and updating your plugins, because that's where you get a lot of hacking going on, because the plugins have a lot of holes in them that hackers are able to penetrate.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, thank you very much. On to the next. Thank you.
I love barbecue.
A video or 2, and I have a tiny little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about sometimes. It depends on who you ask. My daughter's here, so maybe. Enough about me, let's talk about video. According to Cisco, in 2019, 80% of online traffic is going to be video. So if you're not doing video, you are welcome to play in the 20% of the market, and I'm totally cool with that. Or you can decide to play in the 4 times that size market that will have video. Now I understand that includes Netflix and Hulu and all those guys too, but that's a pretty big market segment, if you ask me. So let's talk about how to shoot the video. Since we're at WordCamp, the perfect video is exactly like the perfect blog post. So if you write a blog, or if you read a blog, if you know what a blog post looks like, you already can do a great video. A great video has to have a title. It has to have something that starts and grabs somebody's attention, because if you start out boring, you're going to lose your audience. So we're going to talk about how do you do that? How do you grab attention? Just like a great headline make somebody click on your link and go into your blog post, the video has to have the same thing. The post is basically the middle of the video, and I'm going to give you a little tiny glimpse of why video is great in engaging an audience. And then you have to have, like in a good blog post, a call to action. You want to have something happen, and you got to know where you want to end up before you start your video or write your blog post. So your title, how do you grab attention in 3 seconds? You know, you've all been there. You've seen the little Facebook video or YouTube video or something pop up, and if nothing happens in the first couple of seconds, what do? You know, hang around for 5 minutes, see if this gets any better? No. If we want to take a, let me pull this up somewhere else, because there's supposed to be a video playing here, obviously.
Okay, here I'm at WordCamp Miami 2016, and happen to have met a veteran of the WordCamp Miami, Mr. Laddie Kong. Or actually, it would be, well, that's what people like, that's what you like us to call you, Laddie, right? Mr. Kong.
Mr. Kong? No, Laddie.
Laddie.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us, so have you been, how long have you been in Miami?
Been here 40 years now. Migrated from Jamaica in '75. Running away from the violence in Jamaica. And also, obviously, looking for a better life for my kids. More education opportunities here. Came up here and opened an insurance agency up here.
How did you get involved with WordPress?
After I retired about 10 years ago, I had a lot of free time, and I'm constantly trying to learn. I do some database programming. I've always been interested in computers. My son is a computer consultant, and I always wanted to do something on the web. It's the catchphrase, something on the web. So I thought, well, I don't want to go learning how to do HTML and JavaScript. I didn't want to get into hardcore code. And the other options, and the most popular of the other options was WordPress. Considering the amount of users throughout the world that uses WordPress, it was a natural for me. Some HTML coding and Java is good, but with so many plugins in WordPress, you almost don't need to know anything. You could do cut and paste, and pop it in there. You're going to get interference with this.
We'll continue it later. We can always
You're saying engine failure, and the plane starts coming down, and it looks like it's going to go crash. You're going to want to watch what happens, because you care about these guys. When that's how your video starts, when that's how your story begins, your audience is going to be like, I want to figure out what happens. So you need to grab their attention and give them something to care about. And if you would have seen that video, you would have wanted to know what happens with them. The post, video is a multi-sensory way of storytelling. You experienced one of them, the audio side, which is actually a really important one. And of course there's video, and if you can create a video that communicates with a good visual and with a good audio track, you now can take an idea and combine that with the power of visuals. You know that a photo is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is 24 frames a second, so if you're doing, a bunch of photos, it's a lot of information you can get through. And here's the dirty little secret of video. Story trumps everything. I don't care if you're shooting on a $40,000 camera or if you're shooting on your iPhone. If you have a good story that you're telling, that you've grabbed the audience in and they're excited about figuring out what's going on, they don't care what it's shot on. Okay, so it's not little and it's not dirty and it's not a secret anymore either, but every story has 3 key ingredients. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Actually, Aristotle, I think, came up with that. It's that kind of But the beginning grabs their attention. That's your title, that's your hook, that's where you grab them, and that's where you keep
answers, but it means knowing when to ask the right questions, trying to read what you can, trying to stay informed so that you can be helpful to everyone. Obviously, be respectful. We live in a volunteer community. We work and live in this volunteer community. The best way to succeed is to be noticed and not suck at what you do. And that actually has changed my life, that line. From Helen Ho Sandy, I would have said that in WordPress Camp Miami 2014, and that has been my mindset from here on out. And be proactive. If you see a problem, if you see a way you can help somebody, just do it. Take the 5 minutes to do it, or show them where you would look. Any kind of help is always hugely appreciated. And just by being visible and being out there, you will increase your abilities in every aspect of your business infinitely. Here's some, these are all my resources I've devised over the past 7 years. You can also find my slides. It's the very first post on markratch.com. And really, if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to pull me aside. I'm happy to help everybody and anybody that I can. And any questions if we have time? Otherwise, thank you guys so much.
A hipster who's a successful entrepreneur. We have a banker, yes, with the salary of a banker. And we have another entrepreneur who's a very successful. So if you will start summing up just what the four of us will cost to this endeavor, we will need to give our company to investors. We didn't feel like that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to believe on the dream of having an audience as huge as Latin America and sell at the exit. And so that's what we decided. And so at that moment, our philosophy changed, and we started realizing that we could make deals with people that normally we wouldn't make deals with a small outlet like us. 5,000 unique users. That's not compared with the big media or compared with anything. But we did, and we made deals with these people. And these people were startups 2 or 3 years ago. The people that you see there, we make, and they believe on us. Probably because they still have the startup spirit. And these are the kind of people that we want to partner with.
Page. So the next thing, as I mentioned about gamification and the green light, that green light might be really tempting, but please do not live your life by it. It may harm you. It's kind of like putting so many keywords in that really don't belong in there. And it's just really awkward, and it turns off your regular readers and your new readers. You're like, I'm confused. It's not an absolute must. Write naturally, don't force content or take away specific content just to get all green lights. I've included an article. Yost's wife did a really awesome job writing it up. It came at a time we really needed this explained. And I'm pretty sure most of the people who have already read the article before really appreciate that. It actually is a reassurance that you don't.
And they do two things. They not only validate that the funds are in your bank account or in your credit card, but they also draw it directly into your bank account. There's usually a couple-day wait, but it'll draw it from their credit card to your bank account. Examples of this are Stripe, Amazon Payments, and a whole bunch more. There are hundreds of credit card gateways. These are just my 2 favorite modern ones. The other type is traditional, and they only validate funds, and you need something else called a merchant account to actually draw the funds from their account into your bank account. Obviously, that's a whole extra step to set up, and this was, before they had modern gateways, they had these traditional gateways. These are things like authorize.net. If you're working with a client, and the client has been around for more than 10 years, there's a good chance you're using an older gateway like this.
Consider the length of your text. This screenshot here is an actual bug from WordPress 3.9, I believe it was, where the customize your site button that would show up in your dashboard looked great in English, but loaded up in German, and look what happened. The button ran off into the next column. There are languages, French is one of them, German is definitely a culprit, where phrases are typically longer than they are in English. So it's something to consider when you're designing your screens, is to make sure that everything is going to fit. So that gives you a little bit of background on what multilingual sort of entails.